But will the microphone? So the microphone should. All right. So I'm just pulling everything up right now. And then we'll go ahead and get the ball rolling. But definitely click on that link if you want to come up at all. And so today what we're doing is we're going to go through and interview B-dubs here with some different questions that I had developed. It really, the main purpose of it is just because it's a interesting break-in to the industry. And you hear a lot about a lot of people who go through and they get a degree, they get a position and so forth, whereas B-dubs really took like a self-study route and used a lot of the different community resources that we talk a lot about. Also, let me know if the mic is working well enough. So you guys should be able to hear us here. The audio is doubled? Okay. All right, so I'll change that over. All right, so can you guys still hear us? Is that any better? Okay, perfect. All right, so that should work. It's still going to be lower quality and so forth, but we'll go ahead and get it moving. Definitely go ahead and pop in on the Restream side if you would like to. I'm going to go through the slides here real quick, and we'll go through with the interview questions. Definitely drop your questions in chat and so forth, or come up with that link. I'll drop that link periodically. So as always, so we went through and we started doing video segments. So presentation, a weekly topic review, group activity, and so forth. This week is definitely different because we are live here with Wild West. So I'll give you guys just a little bit of a view here. And we just so happen to kind of take over the Simply Cyber booth for right now. So this is going to be a little bit different. All right, and then just keep in mind, let me go back to this other slide real quick. So this is a business casual meeting. There's a little bit of a delay. Okay, so business casual meeting, it's recorded in the live stream. Don't share anything you don't want to be public. And then also just keep in mind that if you do share anything, let me know. We can get that removed. Feel comfortable to turn on your mic and video. Join on Restream if you'd like to come up. And then share your personal LinkedIn and so forth. And just join this discussion. It doesn't matter where you are at your current journey, whether you're in the industry or working towards it. Definitely feel comfortable with that aspect. All right, and then also, of course, our website, Study GRC, for our socials there as well. All right, and then with that, let's go ahead and move over here. And then we'll go ahead and throw everything up here. So we do have Caesar on Restream as well. And then I'll watch the chat here.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
All right, so I just dropped that link again, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with those interview questions. And definitely drop your questions in chat as well. And then after that, then we are going to cut it a little bit short, but I'll still stick around a little bit as well. Oh. All right, so like one of the first things that I wanted to ask is what motivated you to even pursue a career in InfoSec?
Really, my last career, I was feeling burned out, and there wasn't an opportunity for me to grow and learn anymore. I was kind of at the end of my career, and being, I should be at the beginning of my career, not at the end of it. And so I really just wanted to find somewhere where I could learn and grow and not get bored. I don't want to sit doing the same thing for the rest of my life. My cousin introduced me to TCM Security, their YouTube channel. So from there, it really just sparked an interest in me, and kind of got hooked into cybersecurity, and just the idea that I can be somewhere where I can help other people and learn and grow has been real fun.
Yeah, so you just really took an interest to it, and then the first thing you really got exposed to was TCM.
Mhm.
Uh, How did you find that? Oh, because of relative.
Yeah, my cousin showed me their YouTube channel, and I started watching the free portion of the practical ethical hacking course, and just really enjoyed it.
All right, and then we could move a little bit into like what kind of resources did you use? So the majority of your education came from self-study, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so what kind of things did you use for that?
So I used, I started with the Google Cybersecurity Certificate, um, and which is really a great resource. I highly recommend it if you are brand new to IT and cybersecurity and you don't know any of the foundational skills. It's a great place for that introduction. And then from there, I moved into playing around in TryHackMe, and I studied and got my Security Plus. Did some hack the box, participated in several CTFs, and I went back to TCM Security and got my PJPT after the Security Plus. Um,
So at that point, you were really pushing like for the red teaming side, right?
right. I definitely wanted to be a pen tester, and or even just like vulnerability management or uh, anything even that would be a stepping stone into pen testing.
Yeah, definitely let us know in chat if this is working. So it's definitely going to be a little bit lower quality. Um, but yeah, I find that interesting. I've especially the Google Cybersecurity Certificate. That was one of the first things I did as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up coming across it. I got like a coupon for like $1 for the first month and just knocked it out.
Right, that's what I did. I got my free week, and then I paid for the first month.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't $1, but I paid for
But still.
1 month, and I knocked it out in like 3 weeks. But I had zero IT background, zero cybersecurity background. I knew nothing other than there's a lot of things that I could do on a computer, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one really useful thing with the Google Cybersecurity certificate is I personally would say that probably maybe 40% of that actually moves over to the Sec Plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Maybe less.
It really like introduces those foundational skills, and it kind of gives you like a look into the different sectors of cybersecurity, so you can kind of decide what might interest you more and where you would want to go, whether that's GRC or red team, blue team.
Yeah, that's actually not one that I actually thought about before, because at that point you probably don't even realize red team, blue team, purple team, GRC, and so forth.
So it explains all of that.
Yeah.
It really covers every aspect of cybersecurity, and since it covers everything, it does not go in depth at all. So it's a great starting point if you know nothing.
Perfect. Yeah, and then let's move on. Let's see here. So then another one that I came up with was what's your method for a balanced work life? So like how do you balance everything between work, so work, personal life, self-study, because you're still working on things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your strategy? Do you do time blocking or?
Now I kind of do some time blocking. Now when I was first getting into it, I was working not in IT, not in cyber, full time. I really just decided to commit, and I had to quit that job because it didn't align with my goals and my priorities. So, I mean, balancing everything is really tough. My family always comes first. But during that time period trying to transition, I was unemployed for 8 months, and my family comes before my job, but my job is there to support my family. So it's like, this catch 22, and so I really I missed out on some things just devoted to studying. I quit my job so that I could really focus, because it was really a distraction pulling me away, and it wasn't helping me. But you have to really like prioritize everything too, and set SMART goals, which are the specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals, and then make sure that those goals, or make sure your priorities align with those goals. And if those priorities currently don't align with your goals, you know, maybe need to pick something and let some of it go, or
Yeah, and like for me, what I found interesting is that like I started with the blue teaming side of things and so forth, and I found that interesting. But like GRC just doesn't seem like as much work as well. So like I really feel like once you find your niche, then it becomes a lot easier as well
yeah.
to find that time available and to make things balanced a little bit more.
So, I mean, now it's easier because I'm working full time in cybersecurity. So I'm in
Yeah.
GRC. So I'm learning a lot in work that I don't have to spend that time outside of work. I can spend that time with my family, or, you know, hobbies, CTFs, and
Yeah, stuff that you enjoy.
you know, other cyber stuff that I still want to learn, but on my own time.
Yeah, which is where you can kind of prioritize it differently now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm learning things for my career within my 40 hours. Even just my daily job tasks and whatever. So I don't have to spend that extra study time till 3 or 4 in the morning anymore. So that's nice.
Well, and exactly. I mean, like you're doing on the job experience and so
Right.
forth, and the industry's constantly changing. So that's where a lot of that comes in.
Right.
So then, also moving on to the next one here. So, what is like what was most surprising or unexpected aspect in the InfoSec coming with no experience and so forth into the industry? What surprised you, or what was unexpected?
I mean, really, the biggest thing that kind of blew me away is the community here, the kindness and willingness of others. You know, they want you to succeed and be successful, whether that's, you know, you're already here and you want to grow, or you're trying to get into cybersecurity. There's really people out there that support you, and kind of cheer you on, and just that, you know, genuine type of person. I really wasn't expecting it. I haven't experienced it before in any other industry. And
Well, and so you originally found TCM, which is a pretty strong community on its own.
Right.
But then also you're part of like Hack Smarter, Team SC. Are there any other ones?
Slay Security Plus.
SlaySec. Yeah.
That's probably the one I've been part of the longest. Let's see. There's several.
Yeah. So there's a whole list, and that's what I found interesting is that like I joined LinkedIn, I found Team SC, and then I found out about like TCM and Hack Smarter and so forth, and that's where it really kind of unites on multiple fronts. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think that is something that like I haven't really seen in other industries.
No. I've never seen it anywhere else outside of, like, you know, family.
Yeah. Since when? Or since what?
Slice what?
Slice what? What was your question there, Scott? And so we'll move on to the next one here too. So what was one of the biggest misconceptions that you had about the InfoSec industry? Did you think it was just like sitting behind a terminal, you know, like you see in the movies?
I mean, really, I didn't know anything about it getting into it. I didn't know what to expect. It was all very unfamiliar to me, but I dove in and got really deep really fast. But it's one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I'm so glad that I took that leap and quit my job and really committed, and now I'm here.
Yeah, and it seems like you really enjoy what you're doing now a lot more.
I do. I
enjoy
going to work.
Yeah, all of that, you know, work paid off.
Yes.
And how long did it take you? Like, I definitely want to make the point that it depends on everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, I was not working, and I was spending more than full time studying. I mean, there was a lot of nights I was up till 4 a.m. and probably awake by like 6 or 7, because you got to catch Jerry. So then, let's see, I started the Google Cybersecurity Certificate in June of last year. And then I passed my Security Plus exam by the end of October of last year. I had my PJPT in February this year. And
That's
then,
a pretty quick turnaround.
yes. And
Between the Sec Plus in October and then February, you had the PNPT?
PJPT.
PG, yeah.
PJ.
PJ, PT, yeah.
Yes. So, and then my first day of work, I believe, was like mid-April. So.
Yeah, pretty rapid.
Yeah, I crossed my 6 months of being there this week.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, and I dropped that in chat for you, Scott. So yeah, we're talking about Slay Sec Plus. And so right now they're streaming every week on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, I believe is what it is. And I could drop a link to their channel here in a moment. But they stream every week for that, where they're going over the Sec Plus in particular, which I think is a really good place to start.
I think we're on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sec Plus is a really good place to start. But so then, what advice would you give to other people who are considering a similar path?
I mean, really, I see a lot of people asking, what path do I take? What path do I take? My advice is to find your own path. There's really no one size fits all way into security. Everyone has, your different strengths and weaknesses. Really just take all the advice that people give you, but do your own research and figure out what works for you. It might take some trial and error, but if something's working for you, don't change what you're doing just because someone says it's wrong. There's really not a wrong way. So
yeah, and everybody has their own style. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. And I mean, life's too short to be stuck in a job that you hate. So you want to get into cybersecurity, and you get into cybersecurity, but you hate your job, and you decide that either cybersecurity is not for you, or you went to the wrong area of cybersecurity. Then, I mean, change. Get out of cybersecurity, find what does work for you, and something that just fits your passions and your lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think that's another spot that I've seen a lot of people struggle in is they just get all of this advice from dozens of different people on YouTube or one-on-ones or mentors or otherwise, and they really struggle in that aspect of figuring out like what to even follow.
Right.
And so yeah, finding what works for you, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if something's working, don't change it just because someone's like, you're doing it wrong, because there's not a wrong way.
Yeah, every little bit, still makes a difference there.
Yes.
All right, and then so how do you currently stay current? So how do you stay current with the different evolving landscape? And
I mean, that's a really good question. The easy answer is the daily cyber threat brief with Jerry. But sometimes life happens. Sometimes it's hard to make the stream. Sometimes I'm there every single day. Sometimes it's a couple months before I'm in there. But I'm not an early bird either. But another thing too is there's so much information and so many things that you need to stay, or there's so many things out there that you can stay updated on. I would just, narrow it down and focus on what's relevant to your current industry or current tools that you're using, or, if you're not in cyber, the role that you want to be in. What's the most popular tools? What's the most popular sector, finance or otherwise. And there's lots of email newsletters you can sign up for if that works better for you, or join the daily cyber threat brief. So there's tons of ways to do it, but you're never going to be fully updated.
Yeah.
There's way too much information.
Well, and I really like the fact that you're also giving like multiple different avenues, because you have social media, you have live streams, you have your emails and so forth. So, also it depends on what works for you. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier and kind of balancing everything too.
Right.
Because I mean, you might not have time to attend the daily cyber threat briefing. You could watch it on replay, or you can also get the weekly newsletter that he sends out on Mondays.
Yes.
There's a dozen other different InfoSec style ones out there too. So, something is better than nothing. I mean, there's different methods of doing it.
But you're never going to know all of it.
Correct. There's no way to keep up with all of it. And I think you mentioned to me earlier as well about like LinkedIn too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like following the different people on LinkedIn
Yes,
and so forth. Yeah. Especially in your industry.
Yeah. Get bored, just scroll through LinkedIn. There you're updated.
Yeah, exactly. So is there anything that you would have done differently during your self-study?
I mean, if I could do it over, I would tell myself to lose the imposter syndrome. You know, um, your previous non-IT experience is relevant if you make it relevant. Um, you're good enough, and with the right mindset and perseverance, you can succeed. And I've done that. It's possible. It's not easy, but it's possible. But if you just have to fight that imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
we're all good enough. You just have to set your mind to it.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I, especially for people who don't have any experience who are breaking in, I think that is even more important to realize. And like what I've found at least is the entire community as a whole is very welcoming for the most
Absolutely.
part. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and you just ask questions. Don't try to hide things or anything like that. Like that's
What?
the biggest thing is like
Like we're at
Yeah.
Wild West Hackin Fest, but
Yeah.
find a local event. Get out there, meet people, and don't be afraid to walk up to a stranger and ask crazy questions and get to know people. You never know who you
Exactly.
might meet. I mean,
Yeah.
you may even meet John Hammond, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah, exactly. You might even do that. Did anybody have any other questions or otherwise? So this week definitely is a little bit different, and it did not go as planned. Time flew by way too rapidly. I will most likely hop on a stream or at least do some recorded videos during the rest of the time here as well. But if anybody had any questions for right now or otherwise, you can also drop those in Discord as well. So B-Dubs is actually a mod in our server. She has been for I think since we made it.
Secretly.
Yeah. So
I'm there.
yeah, you could definitely reach out there. Let me go ahead and pull that up. So was finding your niche in cyber an immediate thing, or did it happen gradually?
Well, I mean, no. I still don't know. I enjoy my job in compliance and I like what I do. It took me a while to even figure out that I wanted to be a pen tester. There's just so many options out there, and not having been in the industry before professionally, uh, how am I supposed to know what the actual day-to-day job is like? It's really a difficult decision to make. So I mean, find out what you're good at, learn that, and but also like be open-minded. I was trying to be a pen tester. Now I'm in compliance, and it really just happened because I met someone, and there was an opening, and I'm still trying to find my niche.
Yeah, and also to add a little bit more to that too, like if you look at other people in the industry, there's not many people who stayed in the same thing for forever. Like, of course, there are those people who specialize in that one field, but a lot of people they kind of pivoted around, or they dabbled in a different, maybe they did malware analysis and then DFIR, or a little bit of everything. There's so many different facets to the industry that I mean, really, like even if you break into something that you end up, maybe you'll come across something later on that, oh, I want to give this a try. So,
I'm looking for my LinkedIn link.
oh,
I think I know what it is. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm happy to share my LinkedIn and chat with whoever. If you have other questions or want to reach out, feel free to say hi.
what was the /?
I haven't logged in on this computer, so it's not gonna. There's my internet.
Yeah, and I could always do another stream. If you guys wanted to, I could do another stream separately and like walking around in a little bit more if you guys are interested in that. I was thinking about going through and just doing some pre-recorded or otherwise, because
Okay.
I don't want to spam people with it either.
I have my LinkedIn. Here's my link. I'm slow.
That's all right.
I can't copy paste.
Yep, and then Scott, she's putting her LinkedIn in there now. And then also she's in the Discord and then also the Hack Smarter as well. So like she's a mentor as well in that Discord.
Yes.
Do you know, was he going to be here, Tyler?
Not that I'm aware of.
I wonder if Tyler's going to be here. I'm going to have to ask around.
I'm going to say probably not.
Props. I think he was kind of on edge about it.
But I don't know.
I think I asked him.
Did you?
Yeah, and he said he was kind of iffy, even though he's in the same state.
Yeah. I don't know.
Are you? That would be cool. Okay. All right, perfect. Yeah, I could definitely either later tonight and definitely for the next 2 days, I could definitely hop on things and so forth. Yeah, actually, we did meet with Gerald just a little while ago. I will, especially if I do another live stream or otherwise, I can definitely throw something on there. But like, we're literally at the Simply Cyber booth. It's kind of hard to show right here, but I can always drop a photo in Discord as well. But we're actually at the Simply Cyber booth.
We stole it.
Yeah, he went to
for
go
30 minutes.
Yeah, he went to go have dinner or otherwise or whatnot, and we took his booth. So,
Oh man.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it is. It's pretty impressive, and then also like the badges and so forth. So kind of neat. But yeah, this is definitely a different stream this week. But if you guys do have further questions or otherwise, go ahead and drop that. Live on-site study GRC. Yeah, it's the first one, PBO. Let me go ahead and pop that one up. Yeah, the first on-site one, which did not go as planned whatsoever.
We're winging it.
Yeah, completely winging it. Multiple fail-safes failed. So, but yeah, with that portion said, I'm actually going to go ahead and end it here. I should. Oh yeah, definitely next year. I think. Yeah. I really hope you can be here this next year. I know you're going to be at Simply CyberCon as well.
I mean, will there be one at Simply CyberCon?
For which one?
Oh, live study GRC.
Oh yeah, I mean
it won't be on Wednesday, but
yeah, we could always do live streams there too.
It may not be the second one next year.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Especially going out to conference. You're not?
No. I can't make it.
Now I have to delete this video because she's not going to be at Simply CyberCon.
I'm sorry. So our Dallas B-Sides is that weekend.
Oh, that's right.
DFW.
There's a B-Sides in Charleston the next day, though.
And I know, but so Dallas B-Sides is the same day as Charleston B-Sides. It was last year, too. And I volunteer with DFW B-Sides. So I'm committed.
Right.
I can't travel.
But yeah, thank you everybody, and we'll go through and I'll probably edit this video a little bit maybe or otherwise. I'm not too sure. And then don't be surprised if I pop up on live stream then, like later tonight and certainly tomorrow. All right. Yeah, I think I'll leave that to Caesar. I think they would love to have the LinkedIn CISO for that.
I mean, I vote PBO does a keynote.
Yeah, I mean, we should drag PBO next year.
Yeah. Why isn't he here?
Yeah, that is actually a legitimate problem.
I'm just saying.
All right, so thank you guys again. I'm going to go ahead and end it, and we're going to go meet some other people, and I'll see what other information I can get. You guys have a good night. Bye.